Ali, welcome to my world, bitch. In my last review, I came to the shocking realization that there aren't any queer people in Twilight, which is strange because queer people exist in real life. So I'm gonna go through each character, or at least each character that matters, and basically out them. Not children because, or characters that we don't see enough, or, you know, give me enough to go off of to make an assumption of. I didn't watch Twilight this week, but I did think about it a lot. And just a reminder, I have not read the books. I read the first book when it came out and that was it. And I don't remember it at all. I just remember I hated it. So you may notice that my setup is different. That's because I moved on the weekend. My sister moved out, so I moved into her room, which is much bigger. So I've got my sewing machine in here and everything, and I'm like not sitting on the floor, I'm sitting on a chair because I've just got more space. You can't see the chair, but I'm sitting on a chair. It's great, and it's free because I live with my parents. I mean, I just have to like pretend that I'm still in the closet sometimes, and it's fine. It's fine, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's fine. And honestly, even if it did, I don't have much of a choice because the housing market is a mess and it's terrible. It's terrible. I'm never going to be able to afford a house. I just need to wait for the market to crash entirely, and then maybe I can afford a house. Stephanie Meyer can decide that in her universe, queer people don't exist. But the fact of the matter is that queer people do, in fact, exist. So this is just speculation of fictional characters who honestly should be more racially diverse. I mean, it makes sense that like the townspeople are like white, gun-toting, yeehaw. But bro, the Cullens, they're from literally everywhere. I don't believe it. Bella is so hetero, like painfully, like just open your mind, woman. Which is interesting because Kristen Stewart is the entire opposite, and that's why we love her. Edward is painfully hetero. I reckon Carlisle is like 70% straight. Like if he found the right man, he'd flip, but like he's mostly straight, but he's not like putting labels on it or anything, you know. He's pretty chill. And I think Esme is totally bi. She would. I mean, look at her. She feels like she has to suppress it a little bit because of where she is, but like she's bi. Or maybe pan. Maybe she's pansexual. We love that for her. Alice, I'd say if it wasn't for Jasper, that she's gay, but because Jasper is there and they're supposedly in love, I don't believe it for a second, then she's bi, I guess. But I actually think that Jasper is gay and homophobic. So maybe they're just like each other's beards and they have to pretend because they're in this small town. But Jasper is definitely gay and homophobic. For sure. For sure. Even when we find out his backstory about being a Confederate soldier, Sir is gay and homophobic. Rosalie is straight, but wishes that she was bi. You know, she sees how good it is for Alice and for Esme, and she's like, oh, I wish. Like, there's no shame in being straight, just be an ally. So it's been like 8 hours, I was at work, and now I'm not at work, and I just thought of more things to say, like, throughout the day. Emmett is bi, but also biphobic. Not biphobic, that's not the right term. More just that he doesn't understand the complex spectrum of sexuality. Not that I do, but he does not understand. So when he's like with Rosalie, he's just like, yeah, this is great. Pretty girl. Yeah, I love her. But then he'll look around and be like, Jacob? No, none of that gay shit.
Oh, no, not like that, man. I mean, no homo. Oh, no homo. Cool.
Ah, and he'll go in a white hot rage. It would definitely be white hot rage because the entire movie is white. Charlie Swan is bi or like fluid, but homophobic. So he has like fantasized about men and he's keen, but like absolutely will not admit it. No, he will take it to his grave. But he's just too handsome and too kind to be straight. Billy is probably like pansexual, like very fluid, very free love, very like, oh, like, you know, whoever, it's all good, you know, like super chill. And like if Charlie propositioned him, he would 100% be into it, but Charlie's never gonna do that. Eric, being the only Asian person in the whole series, you'd think he'd be a bit more interesting, but no, he is boring and hetero. Disappointing. Mike is bi and biphobic and homophobic and similar to Charlie, like he has all these desires, but he won't admit it. He'll take it to the grave. Urgh! Manly! So Jessica is straight and wishes that she was bi. So in college, she'll do some experimenting and she'll be really disappointed when she doesn't enjoy hooking up with girls as much as she hoped that she would. And she'll probably end up marrying Mike and be really boring, but then they'll get divorced because she'll become this amazing queer ally that she was always destined to be, and Mike will continue to be in this shell of crushing homophobia. Angela is asexual entirely. She's dating Eric and she's just like, I like your company, but nothing else. Jacob, again, is painfully hetero. Like, so hetero. It is difficult to watch. Ugh. Leah is gay, but she doesn't realize that she's gay until after Sam imprints on someone else. And then when that happens, she's like, and she sees like their love, she's like, oh, I'm gay. So Sam, when he's with Leah, he is asexual and he doesn't understand why he's just entirely not interested in sex or anything at all, and he feels like there's something wrong with him and it's really, really terrible, and he's like, oh, like something's wrong. And then when he imprints on Emily, he's like, oh, it's the imprinting. It was because I did an imprint on her that I couldn't have sex with her. And it's like, no, it's because you're asexual, but you're I don't know, it's complicated. Also, Leah was gay, so. James is bi, because he just is. And Victoria is hetero, but will kiss a girl for James. Like, you know, if that's like his fantasy or whatever, she'll get into it because she loves him so much and she'll literally do anything for him. Laurent is boring and hetero. Ugh. Riley is bi because he is too pretty to not be. Benjamin, my boy Rami Malek, gay. Like when we first meet him in Breaking Dawn Part 2 and his dad is like almost ashamed of him kind of thing, you know, and he does the water thing, brings up like a water wall and he's like, father is ashamed of me. And it's like, yeah, yeah, cause your dad's homophobic. Yeah, I got you. The Romanian coven are gay and together they're in a relationship and it's the sweetest thing. It's so cute, it's so beautiful, but they refuse to acknowledge it with anyone else. That they just, like, they're together, but they will not admit it to anyone else. Even if Alice herself was like, hey, I'm sensing a vibe, they'd just be like, no, there are no gay people in Russia. We have none.
No, of course not. I have Russian. No? There are no gay people in Russia.
Romania, they're Romanian. Okay, now full true. This is where it gets like fun. Alec is a 500-year-old virgin and entirely ashamed of it. Caius is also a 500-year-old virgin, but he lies about that fact and he is ashamed because he wants to get it on with Alec, but he's ashamed because he's homophobic. Like he's really pious and like, this is how it is, these are the rules, but his feelings break the rules and he's just like, no, I can't. Human centipede in a line. Marcus, I think, is hetero and like real gentle and tender and just like really like very bland, very gentle. Aro is gay, but he's also homophobic, but different in the way that the other people are gay and homophobic. So he is gay himself, but he's homophobic about other people. Like he himself can do whatever he wants. So he's a bit of a hypocrite in that kind of way. Kind of like, think like the Ellen DeGeneres of the Volturi. That's Aro. And Jane is also totally gay, but she will seduce a man to eat him. Obviously, there are other characters that I have decided to not include because I honestly don't have an opinion on them. They either don't have enough screen time or personality to make an assumption. Obviously, sexuality isn't a thing that matters a heap to the people who aren't the person whose sexuality it is. And it's not something that we should speculate about real people. Like, let them live and come out of the closet if/when they're ready whether or not they will or whatever. Like, it's not our business. But for fictional characters, let's freaking go. I swear to God, if I have to explain why I think Sirius Black and Remus Lupin were lovers, I'm gonna lose it. Like, are you illiterate? Read between the lines. Anyway, don't be a dick. Bye.